Hi, I'm Dan Smith, and I'm going to teach you how to play Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And this is a really great song for a lot of the usual reasons that I talk about. One is it's a great song to learn how to sing and play at the same time. It's also a great song to eventually integrate some lead playing into. And it also is an interesting song to learn with because it changes time signatures in the middle. So the verse is in what we call 4/4 time, and the chorus is in 2/4 time. So it sounds like it speeds up for the chorus, but it doesn't actually, technically speaking, doesn't speed up. It's the same tempo all the way through, but it changes in how you feel it. So I'm going to demo a verse and a chorus and then back into a verse so you can kind of get the transition. And actually maybe what I'll do on the other side of the chorus is I'll throw in a little lead in between. Because the thing about this song is it's all what we call call and response, right? Which is really the foundation for all music. And my personal theory is that's how music was born, was through call and response. But that's a whole other conversation. Let's go through it a little bit just to kind of give you a sense of how it all fits together. And then we're going to break it down piece by piece. So it goes like this. Darling, you gotta let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. So come on and let me know. Well, should I stay or should I go? Well, should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. If I stay, there will be double. So come on and let me know. So let's talk about the chords for the verse, which will actually be the same chords for the chorus. But you're going to, like I said, you're going to feel them differently for the verse than you do for the chorus, rhythmically speaking. But the very first chord is a D. Now this is an A-shaped bar chord for a D. If you're not familiar with what an A-shaped bar chord is, then you should definitely check out my other video about bar chords in which I break down all the basics of bar chords. Go look at that video and then come back and pick up where you left off. Or if you already feel like you got a handle on your bar chords, go ahead and play an A-shaped bar chord for a D. That's a fifth string or a fifth fret barring with your index finger and your ring fingers on the fourth, third, and second strings. And you're just playing the bottom five strings. And then the second chord is a G. This is an E-shaped bar chord on the third fret. But then you go back to D. Now, how many strums do you do for each chord? 1, 2, 3 on the D, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on the G, and then 1 on the D. So if you think about it, you're doing a total of 8 strums, but it's breaking up a little differently, right? You're doing 3 for the D plus 4 on the G, and then your 8th strum is the 1 strum you do on your D. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But don't confuse yourself with that. Just kind of listen for it. Down, 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 down. Right? Now you're going to do that a total of 3 times. We're going to call that the D part because you start on D. Once you've done that 3 times, then you're going to go to G and you're going to do the same timing. 3 Gs. And then take that E-shaped bar chord, slide it down 2 frets to an F on the first fret, strum your F 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back to G and strum it once. We're going to call that the G part because it starts on a G, but you're only going to do that 1 time. Then you go back to your D part, same timing, 1, 2, 3 Ds, 4 Gs, one D again. But then that brings you to the third part of the verse, which is just A, which is an E-shaped bar chord on the 5th fret. And you're going to strum that a total of 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which then brings you back to the D part. D, 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 G 4 times, and then D once. So that's one time through the verse. Now, I just did one verse into a chorus, but in the song, I'm pretty sure you do at least 2 verses, if not 3 or 4, before you get into a chorus. Now, that's the verse. Now for the chorus, you're going to do the same chords in the same order as the verse, but you're going to feel them differently. It's going to switch what we call time signatures. It's going to change from 4/4 time to 2/4 time. And all that really means is you're going to feel the rhythm a little differently. It's going to feel like it's like double time, right? So you're going to do a D with a bass note and down strum to start. I like bass notes. As you probably know if you watch my other videos, I always say bass notes are the unsung heroes of playing guitar because they will ground you to the beat. So you're going to do bass note down strum, 5th string for your bass note, 2 times. Then you're going to go to G. Do the same thing, except you're going to play the 6th string for your bass note. You do a bass note and down strum 2 times for G, and then back to D. 4 times, right? So it's should I stay or should I go now? 1, 2, 3. Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be. Then you go to G and then down to F, just like you did for the verse. But now you're going to do a different time signature, right? There will be trouble. If I stay, it will be, and on the word double, you go back to D, double. So come on and let me, and on the word no, you go to A, and you do a bass note and down strum from the 6th string. No. Now, here's where it's a crucial point in putting the whole song together. You don't sing, should I stay or should I go at the end of the verse. They never do it. They make you think they're going to do it, and then they don't do it. But what you do is you go back to the original time signature. So you hear, come on and let me know, you're on A. Then you just go back to your chords. Now, so what did I do there? I just did 2 strums on the D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the G, and then once on the D. And that takes you back into the verse, at which point you can start singing the verse lyrics again. So that's the chord breakdown for the verse and the chorus. But now, let's talk about singing and playing this song, because the great thing about this song is that it's actually a really great song to get yourself started singing and playing. For one thing, you're never actually, in the verse anyway, singing and playing at the same time. It's what we call call and response, right? You sing, that's the call. Darling, you gotta let me know. And then the response is the chords. So that's a really helpful way to just kind of build your confidence as a singing and playing guitar player. So come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Now obviously when you get into the chorus, you do have to sing and play at the same time. So I kind of was touching on how to get started doing that when I was showing you the chords in the earlier chapter of this video. But let's get a little more specific. Should I stay or should I go now? So conveniently enough, on the word go is where you start to play your bass note and down strum. So listen to me do that again. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? You'll notice like the syllables of my words are very often matching up with my bass notes. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? Right? Should, stay, go, all on bass notes. If I go, there will be trouble. On the word trouble is where I change to G. And if I stay, it will be double. So on double, I go back to D. So come on and let me know. On no, I hit my bass note for my A. Now here is where you can start to integrate lead and rhythm together. Now if you're not familiar with something called the pentatonic scale, you should go and check out my other video about how to play the pentatonic scale, how to apply it to as a minor pentatonic scale and a major pentatonic scale. An excellent video if you're not familiar with how to do that, or maybe you just want a little refresher. Go check that out and then pick up where you left off here. But I'm going to assume you know what a minor pentatonic scale is to do this next section. So this song is in the key of D. And we're going to do it with a minor pentatonic scale. So that means we're playing the minor pentatonic scale up here on the 10th fret. Because that's where the key of D starts. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to start to do call and response with the chords and a little piece of lead. Don't start with anything too complicated. Do like a 2-note little riff and then go back to your chords. Believe me, if you've never done this kind of thing before, that'll be plenty. But if you want to get a little fancier, you can get a little fancier. Why not? Have some fun. But walk before you run. Please, for the love of God, walk before you run. You will get way better results. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here are my chords. Right? That's just top 2 strings of the pattern, right? Whoops, I made a little mistake. It happens, you'll make mistakes too. Now, the most important part to remember about playing lead and rhythm at the same time is you really have to know where you're going to land. You got to be always thinking ahead, always, right? So when I'm playing my riff, I'm thinking about my chords. I'm thinking about D right now. Now I'm thinking about my riff. Now I'm thinking about my next riff. Tip about playing lead and rhythm at the same time. Try to use your root notes. So there's 3 root notes that you basically need to be concerned with this song. D, A, and G. I got great news for you. They're all in this scale. Here's D. Here's A, 2nd string, 10th fret. And here's G, 3rd string, 12th fret. So try to end your riffs with the root note of the next chord you're going to go to. So if you're about to go to G, again, this means you got to think ahead, and your riff on a G. Right? I just ended it on a G, so it kind of sets your ear up to go to the next part of the song. And then when you go back to D, and your riff on a D. So that's just a little tip that I hope you find helpful. I know I use it all the time. And by the way, just here's a little postscript about that. That's a great rule to learn so that you can break it later. Because if you just land on your root notes forever in your life, then your playing is going to start to get a little predictable. It is. It's going to get a little cliche. But as I like to say, learn the rules so you can break them later and know that you're breaking them. That's cool. That's great. But root notes are definitely pretty powerful, so give them a try.